Accompanied by a faint laugh, Gu Chang'e arrived at the palace. As he gracefully stepped into the pavilion, his presence alone commanded respect. They were struck with a sudden, intense fear, as though thunder had struck them, as they sensed Gu Chang'e's strong and terrifying aura. Regardless of this, young master, Gu Chang'e. Brother Gu. Seeing Gu Chang'e, the cultivators in the pavilion were overjoyed and came forward to greet him. His presence swept away their fear, as if he were their main benefactor. Finally, you are here, let me see, what are you made of? The black man asked, his smile tinged with curiosity. Gu Chang'e, however, ignored Yu and her group as he went past them. Yu's expression and the man in black beside her also changed. They no longer dared to be as arrogant and strong as before, and all their expressions could not help but turn fearful. The black man's face was dripping with cold sweat, and he thought that Gu Chang'e was far more unfathomable than he imagined. Grinning like a spring breeze, Gu Chang'e greeted everyone without looking away, saying, "Brother Yi Langtian, Brother Wang, Miss Qi Ling." He said, "Yes, it's me," without looking back. "Could you tell me what concerns this brother and the daughter of the emperor have?" This was also making Yu more cautious in her plan to get answers for the humiliation she suffered in front of the Gu family's mountain gate on that day, which had already dissipated from her mind at this moment. Directly, with silver eyes, staring at him. Straight to the point, in front of everyone, she asked, "You, as the esteemed young master of the Gu family, don't you think it's too unreasonable and abrupt to accuse my brother of being the inheritor of the forbidden demonic arts?" Gu Chang'e was a little surprised by this. "Missing you might have misunderstood the things. To me, I do not recall saying your brother is the inheritor of the forbidden demonic arts." He was telling the truth. Besides, he didn't mention Yi Shuang and was just assisting the speculation of Wang Zijin of the human ancestral hall. It had nothing to do with him. Beside Gu Chang'e, Yi Liuli clenched her fists with anger and said to the Yingyu, "You dare to speak such ridiculous things in front of Brother Gu." Yingyu's face changed slightly as she reconsidered her words. It was true, he didn't say anything like that. She didn't give up so easily as she finally had the chance to confront him. "Gu Chang'e, don't make any excuses. The saint of the ancestral palace has gone to you, the Gu family, to discuss this matter again and again. We all know about it. Are you trying to frame my brother and endanger my Tianhuang mountain on purpose? What are your true intentions?" Gu Chang'e smiled slightly, but it was subsided at the end, yet with a meaningful expression. He said, "I'm curious, forbidden demonic arts are no trivial matter. You, the people of Tianhuang Mountain, don't want to find a way to prove your innocence, and now the rumors have been spread, afraid of facing the human ancestral hall who are making such speculations, but you come to me again and blame me for this. Do you think Gu Chang'e is gentle and easily bullied?" This attracted many cultivators in the pavilion to pay attention, and their expressions changed greatly. After all, the matter of demonic arts was no small one. The crowd broke out with anger and argued, "Yeah, when they came here, they were full of power and intimidating. They just want to bully others and assert their dominance. And Tianhuang Mountain is just overbearing. We can see right through your attempts to create something out of nothing. Are you guys trying to protect the heir of demonic arts and make the enemy of the world?" Another one said, "The guy who assassinated my sister that day, it is undeniable that he had the aura of Tianhuang Mountain. Can you still deny it?" Yingyu gritted her teeth, and her group was unable to utter a single word. At this moment, Gu Chang'e waved his hand at his followers to calm down, and they also understood that Gu Chang'e was not interested in pursuing the matter further. He explained, "It is unfortunate, Missing You is also a victim of the rumors that spread. She cannot be blamed entirely for this matter. Today we have the opportunity to have gathered here. Let us not dwell on these useless matters anymore." Yi Langtian and his sister Yi Liuli praised, "What Brother Gu said is absolutely true. Such a genius, how can one not be impressed? This is the grandeur of Brother Gu." Gu Chang'e replied, "Brother, yes, you guys flatter me. We are all esteemed members of the righteous path and should prioritize harmony." Yingyu and her group were still, with a pale face, surprised and puzzled at the sudden relief of Gu Chang'e. At this moment, Guchanga sat down calmly and naturally, then, pouring a cup of wine, invited Ingyu, who was a little dazed. "Come, Princess Ingyu, why don't you also take a seat and have a drink? Just think of it as giving me some face." The black man with horns beside Ingyu immediately whispered, "Your Highness." Ingyu, with a slight humph, sat down in front of Guchanga and toasted, saying, "Guchanga, I promise I'll find the evidence to clear my brother's name. And thank you for helping me out of this mess." Hearing her blunt words, Guchanga was somewhat interested but not surprised. "No need to worry, I can tell that you have a pure and straightforward personality. I know you have no ill intention. Otherwise, you and your people would have already been dead." Ingyu recovered from her shock. She realized that Guchanga was not someone to be underestimated. Guchanga nonchalantly spoke, "If I were you, I would not waste my time finding someone and end up with embarrassment. No smoke comes without fire. After all, the Emperor is a great man. If he is wronged, why doesn't he show up and confront him face to face?" Yi Langtian standing between them said that what Brother Gu mentioned is true. Ing Xuan regards all doubters as enemies, but it has never been confirmed why the person who committed murder in the Gu family possesses the unique skills of Mount Tianhuang. Ingyu was thinking that her brother told her that he had lost all his memories during a backlash while breaking through in his cultivation, and he couldn't remember his past. Ingyu felt pity for her brother. She said calmly, sipping her drink, "I understand. I will carefully observe my brother's behavior and speech for any signs of suspicion." Yi Langtian toasted to her, "Princess Ingyu truly grasps the concept of righteousness and prioritizes the big picture. I raise a glass to your highness." Guchanga couldn't stop himself from admiring brother Yi Langtian for his cleverness. Even though Ingyu's alcohol tolerance was low, to save face for Guchanga, she drank a few cups, saying, "I apologize for my impudence today, let this drink serve as my way of making amends." Guchanga also raised his cup and drank. I never expected that Princess Ingyu would be such a generous person. Today, let's drink to our heart's content." Then she felt dizzy and collapsed on the table. Guchanga ordered the black men, "Don't worry, just take her back home." He nodded respectfully and left with Ingyu. Now in the pavilion, both brothers, Yi Langtian and Guchanga, were sitting facing each other while drinking and chatting. Guchanga raised his eyebrows and said, "Are you sure, Brother Yi, there's another inheritor of demonic arts?" Yi Langtian replied, "I saw it with my own eyes, no mistake about it." He was definitely practicing, his aura and techniques matched those of the forbidden demonic arts described in the records. Guchanga contemplated, "It seems like this time, the danger lurking in the shadows is even greater than we imagined." Yi Langtian said with a heavy expression, "So I thought, let's not make a fuss and scare the snake away. It's better to keep quiet and play it cool. That's why I called my brother Gu first." Guchanga, praising Yi Langtian loudly, said, "You did the right thing, Brother Yi. From now on, when it comes to matters concerning inheritors of the demonic arts, you must inform me first to prevent unnecessary casualties. The greater the abilities, the greater the responsibilities." They shook their hands and yelled at each other with the same enthusiasm, "Brother Gu, with you on the righteous path, it is truly a fortunate thing for us. To have a confidant like my brother is truly a stroke of luck for me." Guchanga really appreciated Yi Langtian. These words are straight from the heart. And he thought, but, besides me, how could there be another inheritor of the demonic arts? Wait, could it be, there is someone? After a little chit-chat, Yi Lang and Yi Liuli left, saying goodbye to Guchanga. During the night, Guchanga's thoughts were disturbed by a small girl wailing beneath the peach tree. The girl called him, spinning and hugging him tightly as if she were terrified of something. "Oh, master! Why did you abandon little Tian Tian behind again?" Her master assured her, "Silly girl, the master is just busy with something. How could I possibly abandon you? After all, you are my one and only disciple, darling." While this was going on, someone wearing red clothes, carrying a sword filled with the demonic aura, called out behind him, "Master! When he turned his head with curiosity in his eyes and saw a beautiful woman in long red silhouette with black hair, exuding a demonic aura, he wondered who this was. The woman with an affectionate voice without an expression in her face told him, "I am your disciple, how could you forget that?" Tears streamed down her face, eyes red as rubies, each one a tiny shard of the pain that ripped through her. They traced the lines of her sorrow and anguish, drawing a map of despair across her cheeks. She inquired, or did he really forget her? Guchanga opened his eyes with a dumbfounded expression in his face and thought, is this a forgotten memory or a dream? He contemplated, how could a sorcerer like me have such a nightmare? This is unfathomable. This was a familiar and unfamiliar feeling in his vision. At this moment, Guchanga asked the system the question, "System, I saw a woman with silky black hair holding a knife. It looked lonely and seemed she was waiting for someone under the peach tree. Who is it?" A message prompt from the system sounded, ding. Activate the Lady of Fortune, the Scarlet Sorceress. She died long ago, her body plummeted into an abyss of endless depths. Yet, even so, her hatred for you remains indomitable. Now her consciousness has emerged from the darkness, ready to unleash a bloodbath upon the world, all in the name of seeking vengeance against you. Hearing the prompt of the system, Guchanga couldn't help but ask, The Lady of Fortune? Are you sure she is not a villain? A burst of white light flashed before his eyes, and then some images appeared, but it was more like a memory recreated in his mind. There was a group of bandits kneeling before the master and his disciple, who was in red with silky black hair, holding the sword carefully and listening to her master's words. Her master spoke, "They killed your loved ones and they burned down your whole village. They are all your enemies. Now that I have captured them all, you can deal with them however you like, whether it's to kill or forgive, it's all up to you now." With an indifferent expression, she tightened her grip on her sword. Then, behind them, there was silence, broken limbs, heads, bodies, and blood splattered everywhere on the ground. The girl with a joyful look and smile said to the master that when she grew up, she would marry him. The master stroked her head and smiled at her. "When you grew up, we would talk about it." After 20 years or so, the girl grew up into a beautiful woman with perfect body proportions. With a painful expression, she ran towards her master, holding the sword in hand, and asked him, "Master, did you arrange those bandits back then?" Her master replied nonchalantly, "I say yes, what will you do?" The woman wanted to sever his head, but she couldn't. She cried, her eyes full of tears. "I can't. Can you tell me the reason? Why did you do that?" Her master had no change of face when he said, "I can't tell you that." The picture stopped there. Guchanga wanted to know more. He had no idea who that scarlet sorceress was. For a while, he was silent with a dumbfounded expression on his face. Then he thought surely this was another emotional drama yet to unfold.